Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Data Health webinar. My name is Laura Poggi, and I am the Director of Marketing at RTTS. Presenting today will be Bill Hayduck, the founder and CEO of RTTS, along with Martin Henry Lester, who is a QuerySurge product specialist. He'll be doing a demonstration after Bill presents today. After that, we'll be doing a Q&A session, so if you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to type them into the live chat, and we'll get to them after the demonstration is over. Also, if you have any issues seeing the presentation or hearing the presenters, feel free to let the host know as well. So with that, I will hand it over to Bill to kick it off. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Good afternoon, everyone. We're in New York, so it's afternoon for us. Welcome to our webinar, Improve the Health of Your Data. Let's get going. Sorry, sound went out. Walmart handles 1 million customer transactions every hour. Facebook handles 40 billion photos from its user base. Twitter processes 85 million tweets. Google processes 1 terabyte per hour, and eBay processes 80 terabytes per day. That's a lot of data coming in. All right, so some current data trends. According to Forbes magazine, data warehouses are still very critical for business operations, and Forbes said that they represent the company's crown jewels. So you still have your traditional data warehouses out there, your vendors such as Oracle, IBM, Microsoft, Teradata, SAP, and many other vendors out there in the data warehouse space. Also, there's a lot of large data growth going on. According to Hortonworks CEO Rob Bearden, 85% of data is coming from net new data sources, such as mobile, social media, and web. And at the Hadoop Summit, analyst consensus estimates enterprise data growth of 50 times year over year through 2020. So that's exponential data growth. And the solution for that a lot of large enterprises are using is big data, and big data technologies include Hadoop, your NoSQL databases, the in-memory databases, and some of your traditional database data warehouse vendors that have offerings in that space. So here's a use case of a new data architecture. As you can see, the data sources are coming in from everywhere, from databases, flat files, your Wi-Fi mobile, email, and your other social media, being ingested by architectures like MongoDB and Hadoop, maybe from Cloudera or Hortonworks or one of the major vendors, and then going into your traditional database or data warehousing technology. And all this data is being used by business intelligence, analytics, and reporting tools so that senior level people and C-level people can make strategic decisions based on the trends that they find in the data. So that data better be accurate. So let's look at the bad side of data. Here's some recent news headlines. First one, an embarrassing economic data error rocked Wall Street today. That's always interesting. Second is Australian retail grocery chain to lose over $1 billion because of bad data. And my favorite, the third one, NSA picking drone targets based on bad data, death by unreliable metadata. Well, if that's not serious about getting your data accurate, nothing is. All right, so let's look at some of the business effects of data. So a lot of retailers are using business intelligence to make strategic decisions, including the food industry that's analyzing data to find out trends in new offerings that in different regions. And then you have traditional retailers that are looking at buying decisions and buying trends to try and maximize profits by tailoring information to the specific customers. So business intelligence is being used for strategic decisions to have a competitive advantage and hopefully have a positive impact on revenue, but decisions are being made in some cases on bad data, and that'll cause millions of dollars in losses. So it's really crucial that the data is accurate. And according to the analyst firm Forrester in one of their studies, most companies estimate they're analyzing a mere 12% of the data they have, which the flip side is 88% of the data is not being analyzed, which is really bad. So don't let business intelligence be an oxymoron in your company. All right, so let's look at the solution that we have. Test and monitor the health of your data with QuerySurge. So what is QuerySurge? QuerySurge is our offering. It's a collaborative data testing solution. What it does is it finds bad data and provides a view into your data's health in real time. And it tests big data, data warehouses, databases, any kind of data migrations or data interfaces. So with QuerySurge, you can really improve your data quality. You can speed up your testing cycles. It helps you reduce the costs and risks associated with data, and it allows you to share information with your team, and that's one of the reasons we're giving this webinar. It also helps you find bad data by pulling data from any kind of a data source, whether it be a database, a flat file, or XML, and it pulls it into QuerySurge. It also pulls data from any target data store. What it does is it compares it really fast, and then it either puts the information into reports, which could be auto-emailed to you, or in our data widgets, which we're going to show you later. The architecture is web-based. Out of the box, it installs on pretty much any Windows or Linux box or virtual machine. We've also installed it on Macs, but you need our team to help you with that, but it can be done. And then it can connect to pretty much any of the technology you see listed below, whether it be flat files, XML, or any of the database data warehouses. Pretty much any JDBC compliant data source we've had it working with. The advantage of QuerySurge is it can verify more data. So instead of the 12% as we talked about, a lot of companies are doing now, it can verify up to 100% of data. You can automate the whole process by kicking off the test after a process ends, by doing the comparison automated and then auto-emailing results to everyone at night. You can test across pretty much any different platform, as you see here, your data warehouse, Hadoop, NoSQL, database, flat files, XML, anything with a JDBC connection. Can test up to 1,000 times faster. We've got a lot of different choices and run scheduling test runs. And the collaboration is really important. That's our data health dashboard that Martin's going to show you. And you can share testing reports. So what's the good of testing your data if you can't see how accurate it is in the health of your data? And that's what we're going to talk about. So one of the things we've come up with in our recent build that we have available now is our data health dashboard. What the data health dashboard allows you to do is view your reliability and the pass rate of your tests and your data, and that could include 100% of your data. And the widgets allow you can move them, you can add them, you can filter, you can delete them, you can zoom in and out on any data, look at the underlying data in the widget, and essentially you can verify a build success or failure, look at trends, everything. So this is really a great value add that we have that allows you to view the health of your data and make you successful with your business intelligence, your analytics, and everything else that's sitting on top of your data warehouses, your Hadoop implementations. And also the great thing is you could share it with your whole team. So whether it be your testers, your analysts, your operations managers, your DBAs, everyone can view the dashboard or get auto email reports on the health of the data. So everyone will know on that particular project or on multiple projects how you're doing with your data, was your build bad, how much data was tested, how many failures you have, and how successful you're being. All right, and with that, I'm going to turn it over to Martin, who's going to give you a quick demo of our data health dashboards. If you have any questions in between, you can chat them, and at the end, Laura will read them to Martin. We'll go over all of them. Thank you.
All right, great. Thanks, Bill. And good afternoon, everyone. Just going to get up the demo now. Okay, great. So, as Bill mentioned, we've been working to really improve your vision and view into your data health with our latest release. So what we've been working towards is to make it as easy as possible and as quick as possible to let you see an overview of the health of your data, as well as give you the tools to improve upon that. So what we've added here is called the Data Health Dashboard. And you can see that here on the screen here. And this is what appears directly when you log into the QuerySurge application. And as you can see, you get a lot of information in kind of a small space here. So you can get a quick, just at an eye's glance, a view of what's going on with the health of your data. And this can be really helpful for everyone on the team. So this can be the testers who are coming in to create tests within QuerySurge, or the managers who just want to see these high-level data results and maybe just view reports and things like that. The dashboard here is really customizable and configurable, so you can change it to really show the information that you care about and customize it to the way you want to see it. So let's dive a little bit into the details of this. We'll start up here in the top left. You see the QuerySurge launcher, as we call it, and this just gives you quick links into the various parts of the application. So this will it'll help you get where you want to be. And just kind of going over this somewhat, this is kind of the breakdown of the application. You have a design area where you do most of your creating your tests. And in QuerySurge, we call our tests query pairs, which are really comprised of a set of queries, so a source and a target query that you'll use to query your data sources, bring back the information, and compare those. So you'll be able to see any differences, any mismatches, any problems in your data. So that's all done in the design library, which you could link to here. Then there's scheduling, where you'd compile these tests and these query pairs and create them as a schedule. So you can schedule when you want to run these, what tests you want to run together, things of that nature. And then the run dashboard is where you'd see kind of the run results here, and then reporting, where you can export or view any more of the more details on these test runs, and then just kind of a basic administration. So all of these parts can be accessed directly here through clicking on one of these links, and it would just open up those areas. It also gives you a quick access to the help button here, which you could also access anywhere throughout the app, kind of the help menu. So it's just kind of a quick feature there to get access to the most popular areas within QuerySurge. Over here on the right, you see the last run summary here. And this just show you expanding this so you can see it a little better here. So this just shows a quick kind of view into the last run that was done. So this is the last test run, which we refer to as scenarios here. And this will give you the results of that. So you can always stay up to date on what was the last run, were there any failures in this. So in this case, there were 11 tests done, 11 query pairs. It ran in 35 seconds, did 391,000 verifications, and there were 7,730 failures. So you can get this quick view into that and view the pass rate and the data reliability within that. From this, so the good part about these widgets here is they relate to the other aspects of the tool. So if you see here, you see the results here and you want to learn more, you want to see more about this run, if it's interesting to you, this relates directly to the reporting section, which I'll jump into here. And if I just show the scenario detail report, and I'll run this to just pick up the last scenario that was run. So this is going to generate a report based on the same data that you saw in the data health widget. And here you can see a lot of the same information, but in a more kind of presentable way for reporting and exporting. And you get some more details into the overview of this run. And you can also see some of the more low-level details. So you can get some more information about this scenario that was interesting to you. And this can be saved as a PDF or exported as an Excel file, so you can have access to all this information. Coming now down to this next widget here, this shows you your scenario outcomes and your reliability of these over time. So in this case, I have it so it's just viewing the scenario outcomes for a specific scenario over time. And you can see kind of from this, it started off, this scenario was running pretty well. It was 100% reliable. There were no failures. There was a small dip and a few failures that came next. And then there was this rather visible, rather large dip where you can see something went wrong here. Something is messed up within this data, and it's very easy to see from looking at this that something's changed. So that would allow you to kind of quickly get alerted of this and be able to inspect your data and make the necessary changes to find out what went wrong. And here you can see if you hover over any of these data points, you can get more information. You can see how many tests here passed or verification passed, how many failed, and the reliability of the data. You can also zoom in on specific pieces of this graph. So if you had more points, you could zoom in so you can get a better detail of exactly what's going on. And you can disable or enable various parts of the graph that are relevant to you. So, and just to kind of show how this relates to the results from the application. So if I had this scenario and I saw that there were failures there and I wanted to check them out, I could go into the Run dashboard here, look at this shipped electronics, which was the scenario that we were viewing in that, open that up, and get a view of the data here. So this shows your source and target results that came back from your various tests, as well as the failures here. So I can really get a detailed look based off the widget, I can come in and get a detailed look into what actually went wrong. So it seems in this case, there was an issue with the first and the last name. And so just something to note on this. So each one of these widgets can really be customized to show the data that you want to see. So in this case, I'm just showing the results from the shipped electronics scenario. But there's a configuration option for each of these where I could change that to any of the scenarios that I want, or not specify a specific scenario and show them all. So if I take this out and save that configuration option, so now it's showing me the scenario outcomes from any of the latest scenarios. So I can get a view of kind of all the runs, zoom in on specific ones. So this was kind of the same one, zoom in, zoom out, and scroll around on these to get an idea of what's going on across all of the scenarios. The last one on the default widget page is the last run outcomes by folder. So what this really is, and I'll show you on the left. So a folder can really be used for a lot of different things, however you have your project set up, but what it's really done is to hold your tests, your query pairs, and organize them in a manner that would make sense to you. The way we have it done here, which is one of the recommended ways, is to just order it by kind of pieces of the data sets that it's testing. So this is organized into units such as kind of customers, orders, products, all kind of those organizational units that the data is stored in and makes logical sense to test them together. So seeing that, if I wanted to kind of see a quick overview of the health of a specific folder or specific group of query pairs that is important to me, I could do so. So in this case, I'm worrying about the customers folder, which you can see over here. And if I just open this up, this is the list of query pairs that are seen within this. And then you can see the high level here of the passing, the failing, and the errors. So any outcome that you get from the last run within this. And this can be really useful, especially, so if I change this, I wanted to check out another folder here, and you can see none of these were run. So this can be useful to just see what the last outcomes were and if they align with what they should be. And so along with, so this is kind of the default panel that you'll see when you install QuerySurge. But if you want, you have the ability to really customize this and add as many panels as you'd like. So in this case, you can just add the panel here, but I already have a panel added, so I'll scroll over to that. And you can see I have a set here of a few more widgets and even an empty space. And so all these are customizable. You can drag them around. You can replace each other. So you can change where they are, what they show. Each one can be configured with their own settings, as well as you can add your own widgets from the widget list here. So to do that, I just click the add widget list, or click on the add widget button here. And so that'll open up your list of available widgets, and they're organized based on the type of widget they are. So most of them are data health widgets to really get the most out of viewing the health of your data, as well as some widgets around the designing of your tests and the navigation within QuerySurge. So if I were to add one, I could just drag it in, replace the empty spot there, so as well as remove widgets that I wasn't interested in. And so I could have multiple versions of the same chart, just with different settings configured, so I can really get a view of all the data that I'm interested in. All right, so just to kind of round this out of how these widgets interact with the way the tool would generally be used, I'm just going to create a quick set of tests or query pairs using our data wizard here. So with the data wizard really allows you to automatically generate your tests based on a selected source and target and tables within those. So I'm just going to select our sales database, and as a target, connect that with the data warehouse. And this gives you kind of an overview of how many tables each of they have and when that was last updated. It gives you the option for a few different validation types, either just compare the row count, if that's all I care about, or do a complete data set. So this will compare all of the data as well as making sure that the number of rows matches. So I'm just going to select the schema that I want to choose from. This can be one or multiple. I'm just going to select one for now. And then quickly select a few tables that I want to test here. So let's all right, so you can just select a few tables that you want, drag them in, and then select the same from the target side. And so this would be category, country, customer, address and fee. And I can just drag them over and configure the mapping like that. So then I'll just give this a name. This will be my sales tests. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a folder, as we mentioned over here, in the query pairs structure. It's going to create a test suite, which is a group of all of these test pairs, or query pairs, that can be run. And this just gives you the naming scheme that's going to be used for each of those query pairs. So click and create there, and you see it created 5 of those query pairs, and it's ready to be run. So if we look over on the left, we see this is the sales folder, and clicking on that, you can see these 5 query pairs that were created to test these tables. And then I can go into the scheduling area and see the sales test suite here. And now it makes it really easy to just right-click on this, and I can run it. So this is creating a scenario based off of this test suite and running the test against that. So this should get picked up, and you can see the graphs here giving you kind of a live view into what's happening with your query pairs and the tests that are being run. And you can also open this up, take a look at the data that's come back while it's still running. So a few of these query pairs finished. These last 2 are still running. So far, there have been no failures. And you can see, so the source and target that came back here were the same. And we're just waiting on these last 2 query pairs to finish. So you get an update here of the progress, about 80% done, an overview of the metrics. So far we have 2 running, 3 passed, and you also get your widget down here that's showing you more information on the status of these. Okay, so this should finish up shortly. If we go in, we can inspect all these. So, and each one of these results, you can see have the ability to be exported as well. So you can export these to an Excel, CSV, or XML file. And this would also account for the failures, if there were failures, but there are none here. Okay, so it looks like this is completed, 100%. It looks like they all passed in this case. But if we just go back to, our data health dashboard, and we can get a view into this now and see, so this shows the last run scenario. The data is updated to reflect what we've just run. And this, as you can see, it did so about 2 million verifications and 100% pass rate. So it tells you the total time it took, how much was tested, and it also shows up in any of the applicable graphs. Okay, so that's the overview of the data health dashboard that we wanted to show you, and I think now we're going to open it up to some questions.
Yeah, yep, we have a few. So thank you, Martin, for that. So the first question that we have is related to if this is available for people to actually use yet.
Yeah, so that's a good question. This is a new feature, and it's available to download from our website now. So if you do a trial or any of our trial options, you'll be able to use the Data Health Dashboard. Okay.
The next question has to do with connections. Somebody asked if QuerySurge connects. They're using Amazon Redshift, so they asked if it connects with that.
Yes, so Amazon Redshift we do connect with Amazon Redshift. It's supported through our driver option for connecting with any JDBC compliant database or data source there. So that you should be able to add that as a connection, a normal connection within QuerySurge, and test your data through that.
Okay. The next question is about printing out the dashboard or widgets. If you can actually print them out, or you just have to view them through the browser.
Sure. Yeah. So being the way that the website here was developed, you can just when you have if you have your dashboard open here, I'll just go to something more interesting. But you can print this through your browser. Not very interesting. But you can print this through your browser as you normally would. You can either go to the file print or Control-P, and this will show up to be able to be printed in color or exported to a PDF. And you can change the settings here to capture the widgets that you would like to see. So yes, that is possible.
Okay. We have a question about if our customers are using this tool normally by themselves or if they purchase the services from an external service provider.
I can answer that. No, it's purchased directly from us. That's the question, right?
Yeah, it might have been more. So our clients usually use this tool on their own.
Right. Yeah, it's not used by consulting firms per se. It's usually used by our clients on their own data.
Yeah. That's just for most of our clients so far. Everyone has their own different use case, I guess. Also, then we have a question about accessing the data with business intelligence software. Does QuerySurge do that? Or can business intelligence software connect?
So there's no direct connection in from the business intelligence software, although most of the data can be output from QuerySurge in kind of standard formats, in Excel or CSV, those type of things. So if it can read in that type of data, it can get access, but there's not a direct connection as of now.
Okay. The next question is, we have another connection question. I guess it's more of a higher level question like the business intelligence, but can I store my defect results in HP Quality Center?
So that's a good question there, and that's actually something that is scheduled for our next release due sometime out by the end of this year, or fourth quarter, and we're actually planning to incorporate connections with Quality Center, which is now HP's ALM, Microsoft's TFS, as well as IBM's Rational Quality Manager.
Okay. We also have a question about if somebody needs, if this is something that everyone can use, or if there's specific permissions that are needed, or if there's different types of permissions needed to see different data.
Yeah, I'll take that one, Laura. No, there's no specific permissions that are needed, but one of the things that we created in a recent release was something called a participant license. So full users, like a tester that's going to be writing tests and executing tests, has one license, and then managers or analysts or anybody else that just wants to see the dashboards and the reports, they can even see the scripts and everything they just can't execute, can get a participant license. So we built it so that the entire team can have access to the data information.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bill. So we have another question about, is it normally ETL developers or QA testers that use the tool?
I'll take that again. Both. So depending on the client engagement or the clients that we have, some of the ETL developers are the testers, and in some they have specific ETL testers. So we've seen both use it, and now we're seeing managers and analysts and a lot of other different roles. Operations use it, either participant license to view the data health, or the operations team to actually do runs and make sure that the data coming in on a daily basis is accurate.
Okay. And then we have a question regarding what steps need to be taken to connect to somebody's architecture, to connect QuerySurge with somebody's architecture.
So really all you need here is the information to connect to your data sources, be they databases or flat files. So you just need the connection information that would allow you to connect with your JDBC driver. So generally, for many of the data types or database types, we have an included JDBC driver. So you'll really only need kind of your connection, the machine names and ports and username and password, or if we haven't included the JDBC driver, you'll need that as well. But it's a generally pretty simple process to set up these connections.
And we also have a question about, it's kind of related, so if somebody can't gain access to their architecture right away but wants to try the tool, do we have any options for that?
I'll take that. We have two options. One is you can download it onto your PC or laptop or whatever into either Windows, Linux, or Mac environment, and you go through our tutorial, which comes with two databases that you can play around with, and a full tutorial that gets you familiar with QuerySurge. And if you don't want to install it on your machine, we also have the same availability in the cloud for a 3-day trial. The tutorial takes about an hour to go through, hour and a half at most. So you can log in, try it in the cloud. You don't even have to install it.
Okay. And the one of the last questions I have is, what does somebody need in order to deploy QuerySurge in terms of hardware or operating system? You know, we had mentioned a couple of times that it can be pretty much deployed on anything, but maybe we want to get a little more specific.
Sure, yeah. So as Bill mentioned earlier, this can be installed on pretty much any Windows or Linux machine using the installer, although we've also run it custom installs on Mac computers as well. Pretty much most things that run Java. And so you basically, it doesn't need, the hardware requirements that you'll need are based on the amount of data and the type of data that you'll be testing. So we have kind of minimum specifications they would be, most PCs now would meet the minimum specifications, but to take advantage of larger data sets or large testing, you would just want, you know, some more hard drive space and some more memory available.
Okay, and a question that I've gotten a couple of times is the session being recorded? Yes, it is. You'll hear from me, and as soon as the recording is posted, I will send you an email, and you will have the full presentation and demonstration from today's session. So that looks like all of the questions we have for today, so we are ending ahead of time for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for joining with us today.